Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Yeah, and when I say death trap, I don't mean just for inmates, man, and convicts. I mean it's a death trap for the COs too, because like I say, sometimes it be like 2 COs in there, sometimes a sergeant, sometimes a lieutenant, a supervisor or something. But I've seen them get punished in that kitchen too, man. I've seen them get punished in the kitchen. I've seen them get punished outside of the kitchen on the boulevard, you know, for running their mouth. Because like I said, they always think they're in charge. They always try to, elude all this authority over you. And you catch the wrong dude, man, at the wrong time. He irritated, he frustrated, man. He ain't trying to hurt none of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, absolutely none of it. And I think one of the first incidents I seen that involved a CO, man, it was actually like a lieutenant, man. They had this white dude, man, named Cabbage Patch. Yeah, we used to call him Cabbage Patch. They call him Cabbage Patch because he used to be like, man, he a little dude, man. I think I spoke on him in another video before, but he was a little dude. He was probably like 5'6" or something like that. But he was heavy, man. Almost weighed like 300-400 pounds, man. Real big, fat guy, man. Roly-poly type dude. But man, I don't know what got in him, man. But he just got to the point where he wanted to lose that weight. He wanted to get into boxing. And man, the trainer dude up there started training him, and he took it serious, man. He started working out every day. He started jogging. He started working out, going to the gym, and you could just see the weight just start falling off of him. He got discipline in his eating and everything. And man, within a year or two, man, that dude was down to like about 160 pounds, man, 160, 170 pounds. And he looked good, man. And he was, wrecking shop. He was in there, sparring dudes, fighting dudes, and everything, giving them the business, man. Dude really worked with him, man, and really made a whole transformation with him. It would be some stuff like you see on TV now that I'm out here like a makeover or something. You wouldn't even believe this was the same guy. But he was, man. And he always had heart. He was one of them white boys that had heart. And I can remember, man, the lieutenant was talking trash to him, man, going in the kitchen, about what he had on or how he had his clothes dressed or whatever. So they was arguing back and forth, and he ended up telling him, man, you better go ahead in there before you get locked up, but they was going back and forth, verbally sparring. And he went on in the kitchen, man, but I guess it was still, bothering him. He felt embarrassed because they'll try to embarrass you. They'll say things all aggressive, they'll say things all smart out their mouth, but then you turn around and say something back, but meet that same aggression with their aggression. Then they trying to cross you up. They trying to get you locked up. They trying to say you threatening bodily harm on the officer. All of this foolishness, this is the politics and the games they play when you in there. So I guess, man, by Cabbage Patch going in there and feeling the way he was feeling, and dudes still standing outside on the boulevard, when they let the doors open for us to go out, to go back out, Cabbage Patch said something else to him, and he told him to stop and turn around. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lock you up. You keep running your mouth. Come on, you going to jail. So Cabbage Patch said he won't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to jail for nothing. I ain't do nothing. So he started running his mouth to Cabbage Patch. Oh, you going to jail? Da da da. Turn around, man. Turn around. Put your cuffs on. Woo woo woo. Got on the radio, called for backup. Man, when he called for backup, man, Cabbage Patch said, "Oh, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail." Bam! Took off on him, man. Dropped him. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff he taught. He a big dude. The lieutenant was a big dude, probably about 6'1", 6'2". Cabbage Patch dropped him. He fell like a log. Boom! Hit the ground. Cabbage Patch get on top of him and just bam, 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 bam. Just start beating him, man. I mean, savagely, bro. I'm talking. He was making mincemeat out of his face until the police came and just tackled him. Boom! Grab him up off of him. They do their thing. They ball you all up. Start punching you, all this stuff when you down. But the lieutenant was laying there incapacitated, unconscious, bleeding like a pig in the face. And they get Cabbage Patch down. Then they try to clear the boulevard and see they want it. All right, everybody go to your job. Then they got 30 police out there, 20, 50 police, 100 police. Everybody go to your building, And they running us all about it because they don't like to see that. They want to get real aggressive when one of theirs get attacked because they want to discourage you from doing it. You know, they want to jump on Cabbage Patch to try to beat them in plain sight where people can see to let you know, to send you a subliminal message. You put your hand on the officer, man, you know, it's all out war. And that's the message they was trying to send, man. They send everybody, you know, back to their building. And also, like I say, when something like that happened too, you also stuck because if you ain't eat, you might not eat. You know, all the next buildings they got to come to wait for CHOW, they may not eat. They may go ahead and make them a bag lunch. Let's say, for instance, they were serving hamburgers or whatever that day. You know, if you ain't eat, they gonna give you a bag lunch and they gonna send you a bologna sandwich with some stale bread, some old bologna, or orange, and maybe a little juice pack about this big, and they gonna send that as a bag lunch and bring it to all of the blocks that didn't eat and pass it out in the cell, and that's gonna be your meal. You see what I'm saying? So it's a crazy situation, man. But they gonna try to send that subliminal message that, you know, if this happened, man, it's gonna be bad for everybody. Did if you put your hand on the officer. But that ain't stop dudes, man. That ain't stop dudes. You got dudes in there doing 1,000 years, man, 1,000,000 years. You got dudes in there with life without parole. You got dudes in there with no possibility of getting out. Man, they don't care nothing about that. If you run afoul against them, they don't care if you got a uniform on. They don't care if you with a gang. They don't care if you a killer. They gonna do what they gonna do because they already feel like their life is penitentiary anyway. You know, they ain't getting out. They know this is what they've been sentenced to. So they you know, acting and moving on different rules. You see what I'm saying? And they got to set their mark and make sure that they let people know that, look, this was consequences if you mess with me. Period. Because this is their home. This is what they're going to be. And they also got to send that same message to the COs. You know what I'm saying? That you're not going to take advantage of me. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to take nothing away from me. You're not going to embarrass me. You're not going to belittle me. They got to send that message if they want to get respect on that yard. Because dudes ain't going to respect the fact that you got 1,000 years and you ain't never going home. Dudes don't care. Dudes that got 5 years don't care, man. I don't care what time you got. I care about the time I got. So dudes will still try you. But the only way you can keep dudes off of you and to keep dudes to respect you is by the work you put in. By the work you put in. I told y'all when I first started making these videos that it's only one language. You can have dudes in there from all different, you know, walks of life, man. All different type of races or whatever. And they can't even communicate. They may not even really fully understand each other. But it's one universal language, man, that everybody understand from every country, from every part of the globe, and that's violence. You know, sad as it may be, it's the truth. It's violence. You know, you ain't got to speak English to know what's happening when I pull that Bethlehem out. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got to speak English to know what's happening when I punch you in your face. They know what's happening. So people understand violence and people respect violence, especially in penitentiary. You know, and like I say, officers, man, they get away with a lot of other things that, or things go on a lot longer before somebody decide to make a move on the officer because they know the consequences. They know what you're going to have to pay. They know it's a big price to that. You know, and it may even involve leaving the compound and going to street court and getting some more time. You see what I'm saying? It all depends. Now, for a person that got short time, I don't advise them to put their hands on the officer because you're going to stretch that time out for sure. Now, if they look at your record and you got life without parole and you beat up an officer, they may not take you to street court, but you going to prison court, period. You going to kangaroo court, you going to the hole, you may get transferred to another segregation, but that all of that is a given. All of that is automatic. That's going to happen regardless if you put your... And you're going to take that brutal whooping when they get you back there outside, out of sight of everybody else, and you got them cuffs on, and you done put your hands up, man, they gonna beat the dog doodle out you, but it ain't no need to even put it no other way. They gonna beat you down because they want you to know, even if everybody else don't, they want you to know you can't do this. You see what I'm saying? But it, like I say, it did not stop dudes, man. Over the years, man, I seen plenty of COs get punished in their kitchen, man, for running their mouth, trying to regulate, trying to disrespect, trying to loud talk, trying to elude their, exude their authority over top of you. And dudes can't take that, man. And one of the worst things you could do to anybody, man, is try to embarrass them in front of their peers. Try to embarrass them in front of the people that they got to deal with on a daily basis because they may get respect from these dudes. And if you disrespecting them, they going to look at it as, okay, now these dudes going to say, oh man, you let the police do this, man. I ain't trying to hurt it. So they're gonna have more problems either way you look at it. So either you address the problem from the head, or you gonna address the problem from the rest, or you gonna address the problem from the rest of the part of the body. Because dudes gonna have something to say if a CO gets smart with you and you don't check him. If a CO try to handle you and you don't do nothing about it, it's gonna all come back to you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I done seen him get punished on that though, man. I told y'all the story before when I seen the dude Abe, I think it was Abe and Ace, when they beat this sergeant up on Greensville, man. They punished him, bro. And he was one of the worst sergeants in there. And they would take and put the worst sergeant, the worst lieutenant, or the meanest major in the kitchen. They'll do that, man. I never understood why the ones that got the most nastiest mouths, the ones that's always antagonized, the ones that don't know convicts or COs like, they'll put them in the kitchen because they know them dudes got so much hate in them. They gonna be on them trays. They ain't gonna let you steal no extra trays. They ain't gonna let you cut the line. They ain't gonna let you be in there talking. They gonna, oh, you finished your tray, man. You gotta get up and go. Come on, this table finished eating. You gotta go. They gonna press you so much. Where dudes might be in the kitchen and they finish eating and they just sitting there talking because it might be their homeboy from another building that they don't get to see on a regular basis. It might be somebody they grew up with that just came on the compound, so you meet them in the kitchen and you chop it up with them, you know what I'm saying? So they'll stay, hey, everybody finish on this table, let's go, man, get up, let's get out here. And you know, if you don't move fast enough, they'll try to give you a charge and send some people over there to lock you up. You see what I'm saying? So it's a catch-22 when you dealing with that kitchen, man. All types of things go down in there. All types of, fake moves, real moves, and people get hurt up in that joint. And people lose their life up in there. But them COs, they are not exempt from that. I don't care who you are, because if it pop off in that kitchen and you in there, then you might got somebody that just want to get up and just want to deal with the CO because they figure it's so much chaos. And especially when I first got locked up, because when I first got locked up, we ain't talking cameras. It ain't no cameras in there. Everything gonna have to be word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he attacked the CO. Oh, it ain't no cameras in there. Some dudes that jumped on police and beat them down and walked straight on out the kitchen and they try to figure out who did it and they don't know who did it. You know what I'm saying? Unless that CO can actually tell you who did it. You see what I'm saying? And he got to know the name and the face. And he got to know you was in the kitchen. But if you leave the premises and you gone and he knocked out or he unconscious when he come to, he don't know who to point out. You know what I'm saying? He don't know who to point out. But man, Gabe and Ace, man, they beat this police. I think this lieutenant or sergeant name was Gregory. But he was dirty, man. He was one of them dudes that get on the boulevard and talk trash to you and disrespect you and yell at you. And then when you respond and you give him your rebuttal or you say something, then he want to get you locked up. And he stay in there, hey, you got a tray already. Come on, sit down. Hey, it's been 10 minutes. You already finished eating. Put your tray up. I don't care if you finish or not. Put that tray up. You got to go. He one of them type of dude. Man, he got to messing with Ace them in there one day and tried to tell Ace he had an extra tray, man. And Ace said he ain't got no extra tray. And he tried to snatch the tray from him. Like I told you, they go above and beyond their job title. It's not your job title to try to take a tray from me. If you feel like I got a tray that's with extra tray, then you supposed to write the charge. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to write the charge. It ain't no more to it. You don't supposed to try to rough the tray off, take the tray from me. But they be doing that. They be going above and beyond. And then when they get what they get, that's what I feel like you supposed to have got. You see what I'm saying? So he tried to take the tray. He snatching the tray back. And man, they say no, he just popped the tray up in his face. Take the tray then. So he, hey, got, and pull out his radio. Man, he just take off on. Bang, 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 bang. Man, he just drove him back. Man, he drove right back to the tray zone, and he fell down on the wall. So Abe, that's his main man. Abe come running over there because Abe see what's going on. Abe come running over there, and Abe immediately just start kicking him in the face. Bang, bang, bang. Man, they punished him in there. Everybody in the kitchen was clapping. Yeah, get him, because everybody disliked him. That's how much hate he had created already. Energy, bad energy he done created already in the prison because of the way he treat the convicts, the way he treat inmates. He always disrespectful. He always, anti-inmate. But you working here and you ain't trying to get along with nobody. You trying to handle people. So when that type of retribution come back on you, man, ain't nobody got no love for you. I know there's a whole lot of other dudes in the kitchen wanted to get up and help him. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't doing that. They just crushed them, man. They was stomping them, punching them and everything. And both of them just walked on out the building. walked on out about the building. But like I say, the kitchen people, they always snitching. They done called the code already. But by the time they get there, Abe them gone. You know what I'm saying? Abe and Ace is gone. They walking down the boulevard and man, they coming there, man. They picked him up, man. They had to literally take him to medical. They dragging him. You know, drag his feet literally dragging like this. Just dragging because he's still unconscious. You know, but yet if you let him tell it, he was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? The way he talk, the way he treat dudes. Oh, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. You gonna get the tray, or you gonna put the tray back, or you going to jail. Hey, you finished. Y'all gonna get up from eating, or you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hurt. Get up, let's go. You know, that's how he talk. You know what I'm saying? But when them things start coming at you, bang, 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 now you ain't got no more words. You through. You see what I'm saying? Man, he ain't want to show his face on the compound when all that stuff was over. He was out for sick leave for I don't even know how long, maybe a couple of months. When he come back, changed his attitude. Changed his whole attitude because now he know it's real. Now he know it can happen to you. It can happen to you too, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them don't know that. But when you're dealing with these dudes that got so much going on with them, so much going on in their personal life, so much going on with their situation, so much going on with how much time they got, and you keep pressing them and pressing them, it's like pressing a ticking time bomb, man. It's like pressing a ticking time bomb. And it can explode on you, him, anybody. But that's what they do, man. They press you and they press you. And I'm telling you, man, it's two places that you don't want to be pressing people at and you don't want to be bothering people. And that's that visiting room and that's that chow hall, man. Yeah, it goes down in those two places, man, on a regular basis. And like I say, those just the least likely place, man, that you want to confront a dude while he locked up because, like I say, it's just too much peer pressure for him not to do nothing. So when you embarrass a person in those two places or you come at them wrong, anything can happen, man. Like I say, in that chow hall, I done seen it all. I done seen dudes, like I told y'all stories before about Block, Southside Block. Shout out to Southside Block. Block done went back on the line and fought the dudes in the kitchen for running their mouth. Because those dudes get caught up too, man. They be trying to impress them women that work back there in the kitchen and they be talking, crazy to you or putting a little bit of food on your tray or shoving the tray out there. And dudes, dudes ain't going for that. They ain't going for all that foolishness, man. Dudes gonna rebel. Dudes gonna say something back. Words gonna get exchanged. And either they're gonna see you on the yard or they're gonna be waiting for you when you get off work on that boulevard and it's going down. You see what I'm saying? So that kitchen, man, that's why that was another reason why I didn't like to be in there. That was another reason why I ain't like to deal with that whole scenario. Plus, because like I say, you trapped off in there. And you can die up in there because them people is not going to save you. I can guarantee you that. They not going to save you, man. I seen a dude get stabbed up in there one time. And he might have got stabbed about 6 or 7 times, man. And the only thing that really saved him was that the dude really ain't have mercy, but he just seen that everybody was looking at him. But in my opinion, he was trying to take him out because he ain't had no little Bethlehem. He had that real deal jump. And he came in there to get the dude. They was beefing over some type of money. It's always money. There's always some words being said or something like that. But they was beefing over some type of money. But he came in there, man. As soon as he came in there, he didn't even go through the line. He walked over in the kitchen and walked over to where dude was sitting there. Dude knew he was coming. So dude stood up. But when dude stood up, he pulled that joint out. And when he pulled it out, man, it was crazy because dude picked his tray up and threw his tray at him and tried to run. But he chased him down. And when he was running around the tables, he ended up falling down. When he fell down, dude got on top of him. Mom. He's turned around and started kicking. So he got stabbed in the back. He got stabbed in the front. You know what I'm saying? Just kicking. And then he just went unconscious. And dude was on top of him and could have finished him. He could have finished him, but he just walked away and he was trying to get rid of the knife now because by now they done calling people and the people coming in and he trying to get rid of the knife because the knife is going to be what's going to link you to this assault. So he trying to get rid of the knife, you know what I'm saying? Whether he got rid of it or not, I don't know because when they came in there and they seen all the blood and seen all that was going on, they just went crazy. So it was pure chaos. So everybody had to get down. Everybody had to start exiting the kitchen, all of that foolishness. But like I say, his life, man, he almost lost his life. I know he didn't die, but I don't know how bad he was actually hurt. But I know he was incapacitated when the time they got everybody out of the kitchen. He was still unconscious. And I know they medevaced him out there on the helicopter I ain't never see him no more. If he would have died, we would have had word. But I heard he was messed up real bad. You know what I'm saying? All for being in that kitchen. Like I say, that's a death trap, man. It's a death trap. And that's why a lot of dudes, when they go over there, dudes be strapped. Dudes be strapped, man. And I don't know how they be getting away because, like I said, they pet you down when you come up out of there. But it don't help because them dudes had that Bethlehem in it. And then if you really going in there to do work, it don't matter because they ain't petting you down when you go in. They petting you down when you come out. So if you really in there to go work, you going to take that Bethlehem in there and put that work in, and then you going to try to get rid of it. So when they pet you down, you're not going to have it anyway. You see what I'm saying? But it ain't no need to take it over there if you're not going to use it. But if you don't take that one over there, someone might have an intentions on using one on you, and you stuck. You see what I'm saying? So, man, it's a vicious cycle, man. It's a vicious cycle. Dudes is trying to go over there to get something to eat, but you may go over there and get in a life or death situation, you know. But then again, like I try to tell y'all, that's prison for you, man. That's how it goes down in there. And I done seen, you know, like I said, I done been in there when riots jumped off. Same thing. Block set that riot off in there. Block got up on the table and say, F everybody from DC, and threw the tray at a dude. And boom, bang, bang, there's on everybody in there fighting. Everybody in there rumbling. Everybody throwing trays. And you know, back then we had steel trays. So everybody throwing trays and everybody rumbling up in there. You know, and the police ain't coming up in there. They ain't doing nothing but coming to the door and trying to make their force known and wait till they get more people, and then they just yelling, hey, everybody get out, everybody get out. But it ain't nothing jumping off because back then, like I told you, this ain't even the era when they got guns. You know, we moved on to that era when they got to the Supermax, the Wallace Ridge, the King Mountain, the Sussex 2, the Sussex 1, the Red Onion. Now they got guns and they got a gun tower in the kitchen. But all these prisons that was built before they had them gun towers, ain't no guns in there, man. It ain't nothing. You got to rely on these police to come get you. You know what I'm saying? When they got the guns, maybe you're a little bit more safe because when you get the rumbling or they get to stab you, they're going to shoot you. So that's going to automatically make a person cease. But just talking or these scared police, they're going to have to physically remove this dude from you or stop this dude from hurting you. Oh, man, you can forget it. You can forget it. And that's all prisons besides the Supermax. They ain't got the gun. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on a regular institution, a regular joint without the gun. Unless you done got in some serious trouble that warrants you being at a Supermax. So you going to always have to fend for yourself. But I say the same thing. Even at a Supermax, you have to fend for yourself. Especially if you up there at Wallace Ridge or Red Onion when you with them racist people because they like to see people kill each other. They sit there and watch it for entertainment. They sit there and watch it for amusement. They only gonna pop the gun when they see fit to pop the gun. Or they see you done stop, then they just want to shoot you because they mad or they irritated. You see what I'm saying? So, vicious, man. Vicious cycle, man. Vicious cycle. But I seen it, man, in that visiting room and in that kitchen, I seen it go down. You know, I only, in my whole time being locked up, I only got to fight one time in the kitchen. Only one time in the kitchen. And the only time I got to fight in the kitchen then was because I got to argue with a dude about some foolishness. You know, it ain't had nothing to do with the kitchen. It was something about a football game that was said in the block. He steady running his mouth about what I said, and I'm telling him, you know, leave this situation alone. I don't want to hear it no more. He wait till he get in the kitchen and running his mouth even louder, bring the whole scenario back up. And I kindly told him, I leaned over to him and told him, I said, man, you still running your mouth on the same thing? And he said, man, I don't care what you say. You can't tell me what to say. I say anything I want to say out my mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, get out my face. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to tell you but one more time. He said, man, F you, man. I said, get out my face. Now, I don't know whether he was doing that or not because he knew he was in the kitchen. He knew whatever was going to transpire wasn't going to transpire too long because the police were going to be down on top of you, or because he had an audience. I didn't know what the situation was, but I know I wasn't trying to hurt that foolishness. So when he said what he said, I stood up. He stood up. I walked over to him. I said, what you say? And before he could even answer, I just hit him. Bam, bam. Uppercut, straight right hand, drop him. You know, I jumped on top of him, got on top of him, nailed him about 3 good times in the face. Mock him. And when I finished hitting him then, he was already unconscious. I just let him go, dropped him to the floor. I get up. His homeboy said something slick, I'm getting ready to address him, but by then, the people come running in, you know what I'm saying, do what they do. I definitely got locked up. I couldn't get away with that one. Although I would have liked to, I couldn't get away with that one. But that's all it took. You see what I'm saying? He running his mouth. He ain't even ready to fight. He won't even built to fight. And I knew he couldn't beat me. And I really didn't even want to give him that work. I didn't even want to give him that business. But he had got so loud, man. He done put the spotlight on me with dudes looking at me. And I'm looking at it like, boom. Okay, they think he can talk to me like that. They may think they can talk to me like that. So I had to put an end to it. You see what I'm saying? I had to put an end to it. You know, and yeah, I got locked up for that joint. I paid for that joint. I had to stay back there. I probably stayed back there about 2 months, you know. But those are the things that goes on in there. People would try you up in there because, like I say, they try to get an audience. They try to, you know what I'm saying, shine in front of somebody. They try to get a name for themselves. But it might be all at your expense. So every time that bell ring, man, and every time somebody come at you like that, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. I done seen dudes go in there and get to fighting homeboy with homeboy. You know, him and his man come up in there and they approach 2 of them and they get to rumbling. You know what I'm saying? Rumbling in there. 4-man fights in there, 10-man fights in there, 12-man fights in there, riots in there. People throw the tray all everywhere, food fights. Let them go through the line and don't have the food. They run out of food. Man, they run out of food if they want to. They serving fish and they run out and they try to give you some hot dogs or they try to give you some bologna or they try to give you some Spam. Man, them people gonna tear that kitchen. They gonna tear that kitchen all to pieces. And then when they start tearing the kitchen all to pieces, then dudes that got beef with each other look over and see everybody going off and they like, well, I ain't like him anyway. Bang, bang, bang. Then they fight. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. You know, it's like a savage world, and people don't understand that, man. That when you go up in that kitchen, man, you better know. Most people, especially the young dudes, are just coming into prison. They think, oh, man, I'm going to go over to CHOW, I'm going to get this food, I'm going to holler at my homeboy, woo, woo, woo. Man, you may go over there, man, and end up in a situation that you don't even want to be in, and you can't get out. Ain't no running, ain't no nothing. See what I'm saying? Then they might come in there with that mace stuff. When it's a melee, they coming in there with that mace. Now you over there, you choking, you know, gasping for air, and you don't even know what the situation is, and you ain't got nothing to do with it, but you a victim of it because you in there. Just because. Just cause. You see what I'm saying? Just cause, man. And then when they started all this stuff about, you know, like I say, the upper levels, like, you know, such as 2, 1, Wallace Ridge, you know, Red Onion, man, they shooting in that kitchen, man. And them dudes still go up in that kitchen and pop off on dudes. They still go up and knowing they're going to shoot. And it's a small, closed-in environment, so them pellets be flying everywhere. So everybody in danger because dudes get to fight. You know what I'm saying? But it goes down in there, especially with them gang members, man. You got them gang members in there right now. And, man, they don't care. They going to get you what they call on site, wherever they see you at. So if you ain't in their building, they might come in the kitchen you in. They coming and looking for you. They going to be in the vicinity that you in. And wherever they see you at, this might be their only opportunity to get you. So they not going to let that pass. They going to jump. They going to make a move. They going to pop off on you. They going to pull the Bethlehem out. So now everybody at risk because they shooting. They bringing the dogs in. They got the mace in. Everybody ain't gonna finish eating because whatever you ain't eat is over. You getting up out that kitchen when they, you know, get the situation under control. That's that. That's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I done seen them pop that gun in that kitchen. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Yes, indeed, I got up under them tables. I got up under them tables because I ain't want none of them pellets to hit me that won't meant for me. I got up under them tables and covered my head up, cover everything up, man, because they just get to busting. Pow! Get down! Pow! Pow! They just shooting it, man, like it's a shooting range, man, like it's just target practice. And, you know, and dudes who just try to get a couple of blows off or try to get a couple of hits in with the Bethlehem and then throw it to the side and lay there and try to spray it out. Nah, man, they busting that gun, man, until they empty and waiting till the dogs come in and the dogs coming in trying to bite anything that he see. Anything that's close to his mouth, he trying to bite. You see what I'm saying? So, man, yeah. So when they ask me about that kitchen, man, it's just so many things that comes up in my mind I seen in there. I done seen females get in there. I done seen them females come back from behind that line, them kitchen supervisors, you know, because dudes saying that the food ain't cooked right. And I got food poisoning in prison 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 times before I stopped eating in the kitchen, I had food poisoning 2 or 3 times because they serving bad food. And dudes will get food poisoning and the whole compound to be sick. So I've seen dudes talking about the food wasn't right and kitchen supervisor came from back there looking on dudes' trays, talking about what's wrong with it, why it ain't right, why, running her mouth, and dudes is screaming at her, telling her that she done got smart. And I seen the dude smack the taste out of her supervisor, female, smack the taste out of her mouth, bah! You know what I'm saying? Smacked her, knocked her down to the ground. She laid on the ground, holding her mouth, blood come from her mouth, screaming, hollering. Police come running in there, jump on dude, take him down to the ground, start beating all on him. You won't hit a female, you won't hit an officer, everybody get out of here, get out of the kitchen, get out. You know, all of that foolishness. All of that foolishness. But like I say, we in prison. So as time go on, man, that stuff become normal to you, which is a sickness in itself, because you learn to look at this as normal because you get used to it, because it happens so much. You see what I'm saying? It happens so much. But these type of things people on the street don't know about, because like I say, it's in-house, it's penitentiary stuff. Dudes don't talk about it. Dudes don't call home and say, this happened or that, because, it's normal to them. And this is the life that they living and not the people that's on the street. You see what I'm saying? But most everybody gonna go to that kitchen, man. If you locked up, you going to that kitchen one day, if not every day, you're going to that kitchen sooner or later. But when you go in that kitchen, you need to know that in itself is a death trap. It's small, it's compact, you locked in, and you isolated. And if you ain't got no fight game in you, or if you ain't got no survival in you, you in the wrong place, brother. You in the wrong place. You better off staying in your cell and trying to eat some commissary, or just standing there being hungry, because it can go off any day in that kitchen, man. And they not going to close the kitchen down because people still got to eat. The worst thing they can do is put the whole compound on lock. If they put the whole compound on lock, they got to serve everybody in the building. They don't want to do that because that's too much like work for them. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on that real fast about this kitchen situation, man, that happens in all the prisons all around the globe, man. If you in penitentiary and you go in that kitchen, man, nowadays, especially in Virginia, they lock them kitchen doors, man. And when they lock them kitchen doors, that becomes a death trap for a lot of people. A lot of people, because you have dudes in there that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But, when a lot of chaos going on, man, it's just like when it's a riot, people start looting. In prison, when there's a lot of chaos going on, dudes start popping off on dudes that they already had a beef with. So you looking over here at the fight, and somebody got a beef with you might just take off on you in the confusion because they think they can get away with it because everybody focusing on that. So it's always going down. It's always going down in prison, and it's always going down in that kitchen, man. I just wanted to run that to y'all right fast. I'm going to get right back to these stories in a minute. These some little short stories, man, that I just wanted to give y'all. But, man, I hope y'all keep on rocking with me, man. We got to get these numbers up, man. We got to get this message out here. We got to keep these young dudes from going up in these prisons, man, and throwing their life away, not knowing what they're facing, not knowing the type of life that they're going to have to live, not knowing the type of everyday misery, confusion that you're going to have to deal with, And in my opinion, it ain't nothing out here on the street worth you putting yourself in that position to have to live like that each and every day. Nothing is worth that, bro. So, man, if you out here on the streets, like I tell you all the time, man, you winning. Don't get put out the game, brother. Don't get put out the game by doing something foolish, hanging around with dudes that's not on the same level that you on, dudes that don't care nothing about their life. Let them live their life, man. But you need to stay focused. And if you got to work a 9 to 5, no matter what it is, I just told y'all, man, I told these young dudes that was at the car wash, never be ashamed to work at a car wash, brother, because you're working and you're trying to make an honest living. You understand me? And trust me when I tell you, it's a whole lot better than being on the other side of that wall. You dig? So, y'all keep on rocking with me, man. I'm going to keep on pushing these stories out there. I got some more conversation with convicts coming up, some big names in the works. And I'm keep on pushing, man. And y'all put that message out there, man. I need to get on 85 South. I need to get on hot boxing. I need to get on $1 million worth of game. I'm trying to get out there, man, so we can spread this Banky Pound message and this positive energy all around the world. So if you got some connections, or if you don't got some connections, tell a friend to tell a friend, man, that we out here and we trying to get this message out, man. TBP, stand up, man. Y'all keep on holding me down, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be safe out there. Be smart. Make good decisions. I'll see you in a minute. Y'all know I ain't going to stay away for too long because we out here. Duck that hook, baby.
Anything special?
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.